Hey guys, it's great to hang out with you again for our little show here. And in case we haven't met, my name is Dave Curley, and I'm the founder of churchtrainingacademy.com, where we're teaching small and medium-sized churches how to use and exploit media and technology so that we can change lives. And I've been, let's see. I guess it's been a storied career. Over the last 20 plus years or so, I've been doing video production. I was doing video production way before we were doing any kind of podcasting or streaming or anything like that. And I was doing broadcast and stuff like that. And then I've moved into podcasting and web video production and creating content for, entertainment and for news and tech and all this kind of stuff. And then been live streaming for about, almost 10 years, 9 years, something like that, since live streaming really came on the scene. And I'll tell you, it is fun, and it is a powerful, powerful tool. And that's actually one of the things we're going to talk about today is live streaming and live streaming for churches. And should your church be live streaming? Should you have live streaming as a part of your ministry? And why I think you should, and why I think you need to start, like when we're done here, that quickly. I've got a couple of slides I'm going to show you guys today that are part of a workshop that I do called Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way. And, my response is varied when I'm talking to various churches. Some of them are like, hey, we need to be live streaming. We need to be doing it now. How do we do it? And then there's others that are like, I know that there's this thing called live streaming and we have to do it. As tools have changed, as media has changed and everything, it's important, I think, that ministries and churches take advantage of whatever mediums are out there, whatever technology is out there that they can, and exploit the snot out of it in order to reach people and change lives. Currently, one of the most accessible technologies that we have is live streaming. It is everywhere. Everybody's live streaming. Facebook is huge on live streaming. Facebook has an emphasis internally, and they're promoting it as well, on live streaming. They want that interaction. They want people on their platform engaging and having these fantastic experiences of all different kinds. In this case, in the case of a church or a ministry, it is the growing spiritually. It is the spiritual learning. It is the Bible study, the engagement, things like that people crave in both a physical and a digital format, right? So I go to church every Sunday to gather with my brothers and sisters in Christ and cheer each other up and encourage each other and learn from each other and learn from our pastor and our Bible study teachers and all that. You can do that same thing online. If you haven't noticed, we live in a 24/7 world now, so it's rare for everybody in your circle to work from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Some churches are doing Saturday night services. They're doing Sunday services. They're doing Thursday services or Wednesday or Tuesday services. You just adjust to whatever's going on in the area you're in and make those adjustments and maximize those as much you can to reach as many people. So I say all of that to say that live streaming, when incorporated into your ministry, can help you do that, can help you amplify that, can help people join your church virtually when they're unable to join physically. I do a workshop called Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way. And it's a couple of hours. It's a workshop where we talk about live streaming and what you can do with it and why you should be doing it. And then we kind of get physical. Let's get physical. No, we get hands-on with some of the equipment. We set up tripods. We set up a live stream. I show them how to, get the free OBS, Open Broadcaster software, and we set up a live stream with that. And then we talk about upgrades and how to make it better. And then we, put together a TriCaster, and like the one I'm using here, and get a live stream set up using the TriCaster, and so they get to see the whole gamut. And one of the things that I do when I'm going through the registration process on that is I send out a few emails. One of them, I have a survey, and in that survey, I ask several different questions, trying to gauge where they are, where their church is. Are they live streaming? Have they considered it? If they're not live streaming, why are they not? And if they are live streaming, what would they like to see improved, or how would they rate it? And a couple of times per workshop, I get someone saying, we want a live stream, but we're not sure how many people are going to watch and whether it's worth it or not. And, you know, I understand what they're saying. I understand, should we put the effort into it if not many people are going to participate? And I understand that. You know, you're going to hear me say over and over throughout this journey, both in this show, as you guys become members of Church Training Academy and stuff, you're going to hear me talk about the technology and the production from a secular standpoint, if that makes sense. I make shows, okay? I produce shows. I set up cameras. I engineer shows. I make artwork for shows. I make lower thirds. I host shows. I make shows, okay? And I look at church media from a producer standpoint and from a content creator standpoint, which is every organization, period, whether it's a snow cone stand or a car dealership or a law firm or a ministry, they're all media companies, and they all do something media-wise, right? In the case of a church is a media company when you step back, okay? And you're going to hear me say this a lot. We all stipulate that it's a ministry. The whole goal behind the ministry is not to make money, not to, you know, put on big flashy presentations and all this kind of stuff. It is to change people's lives, to reach people with the gospel, change their lives, okay? So that they can go out and reach people with the gospel and change lives, okay? It's a network marketing. So, understanding that, yes, it's a ministry, first and foremost. Okay, we're going to set that aside now. We're going to talk about it from a practical, pragmatic standpoint, okay? It is a company, a nonprofit, that produces content on a weekly basis. So each week, your church is producing at least one live event. Now, I've got a friend named Damane, and Damane puts events together. He's an event planner, okay? And when I talk about events, I'm talking like Ferrari hires him to come out and, you know, do the big, huge party thing where they're unveiling a new Ferrari. When you look at it from a overhead view, it's the same thing. He does events every week for various companies, various organizations and stuff. Some of them are huge and big and flashy and have Ferraris, and some of them are, you know, glorified birthday parties for, you know, some industrialist, or they are a conference or whatever, okay? Your church is doing the same thing. At least once a week, every Sunday morning, there's a live event. There's a stage. There are people coming up and speaking and presenting during that. There is audience interaction. You see what I'm saying? It's a live event that you're doing each week. So, understanding that and taking the content of that live event and then making it available for other people to participate in or to interact with beyond being at the live event actually makes a lot of sense. So if we're going to do a conference and we have a 2-day conference and we've got guests coming in and we're charging $150 per ticket for the 2-day event, and we have the discussion, do we want to live stream the event? We're going to record the event because they're going to want to make that available for people to purchase, or as a part of your ticket, you know, they're going to be able to see it offline after. Then we have the discussion about whether we want to live stream it and whether it's worth it to put the expense into live streaming it. And we talk about it from two different standpoints. Number one, how many people are going to show up? Is it worth it to spend $10,000, you know, just round number, live streaming this event for 7 people to show up and watch it? Or is it cost prohibitive to do it because people will watch the event for free or for a discounted price and actually not show up at the event? Does that make sense? We don't want people showing up, or we don't want people showing up to watch the live stream, and in the live stream, the camera angles are getting empty seats. You see what I'm saying? So when a church has that question, we don't know how many people are going to show up, and we don't know whether it's worth it. From a pragmatic standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. From a ministry standpoint, that would be akin to saying we're not going to present the gospel this Sunday morning because for the last 2 weeks no one has come down and made a profession of faith. So we're not sure how many people are going to come down and make a profession of faith and begin their relationship with Christ. So should we present the gospel? Yeah, you should, right? I mean, you're going to regardless. It makes sense. It's raining outside. Should we? I mean, how many people are going to show up on Sunday morning when it's raining outside? So should we turn on the air conditioner? And is it worth it? You know, is it worth it to put all that effort into getting up and getting down to the church and turning on the air conditioner and, you know, and it's raining outside. It's been raining for 2 days. So, I mean, is it worth it? I mean, how many people are going to show up? I mean, what if only like 10 people show up? You know, maybe send them home. You know, you see what I'm saying? I did some coaching and got a local church up and running with live streaming. They were wanting to do it, and so I spent time coaching them. Actually coaching them remotely. It's funny, I could have run out there, but you know, we did it like over Skype and stuff, and helping them get things set up and all that. And so the person who got all this set up, she emailed me a video.
Well, it's been so long since we've been to church that we'd almost forgotten how great it is. And we really appreciate you guys doing this work to bring it into us so we can enjoy it and worship God in our own home.
Yeah. What do you think, Sally?
Well, I think, you know, I have told people, you know, that since we can't go to church, the church is bringing church to us. And they think that Shepherd's House is great for doing that for somebody that can't get there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited over it.
Yeah.
That's huge. So, is it worth it? Are you live streaming yet? And what is the deal with all this live streaming anyway? First off, I want you to know that we are in the middle of one of the largest global shifts in the way people are communicating and consuming information. It's instant, it's visual, and it's compelling. And media is basically at the heart of everything that we do. We get our news from media. We get our information. We communicate with each other, and we do all that using media to one degree or another. I mean, where'd my phone go? Everybody is running around with their phone plugged in doing something. So the question for a church is, why do live video? I mean, you could actually, you know, you could just record everything and podcast it and put it up later, and you can definitely do that. That's completely an option, and a completely viable option. There's no reason why you wouldn't do that, and actually say you need to do both. You need to live stream so people can be there in the moment, but then also have it available for them as a resource later. There's basically two types of live video. There's live events, which are, you know, they're longer form. They are, you know, for example, you know, we've got a pastor right here preaching. So longer form, he's going to be speaking for, you know, 30 minutes, and then it's more produced, it's more thought out. It works within a certain time frame, and it usually has a much higher production value. You know, we've got a couple of different examples down there. We've got my entertainment show that I did a couple of years ago. And then we've got a Q&A session that one of our local churches, their pastor, you know, they'll do a series, and then we'll come back like on Monday or Tuesday and do like a Facebook Live Q&A session so we can maybe go more in depth with one of the topics or one of the things that we were talking about, or answer some questions, or, you know, interact more on the subject and basically carry the conversation, you know, like throughout the week, the conversation that you start on Sunday during the live event, during your service. But then you've got what I call the quick hits. And the quick hits, they're shorter, they're more raw. It's usually someone running around carrying their phone and, you know, holding it, and, you know, they're either going to be interacting directly with you, or they're going to be, you know, in this case, it's at a conference, this big one here. It's at a conference, and Dean Cain came up to do a talk or something, do a little interview. So she grabbed her phone and just shot it. It's herky, it's jerky, but you're there with her experiencing that moment live as it's happening. These things are very, very engaging. If you look at the one here where the guy's showing the audio board, that's a friend of mine. That's he's a worship leader, and so as they're getting set up and ready for their Sunday service, he thought he would grab his camera and go around and talk to the people that are putting it together. So on their website or on the Facebook page, you can have some engagement with people talking and asking questions about, what soundboard is that, or are y'all doing this song, or this is funny, and the guy in the band is playing Stairway to Heaven and he should be playing something else. Those are engaging, those are relationship building things. It's the shorter form stuff. And the reality is that video is the future of our content consumption. Think about it for a sec. How often you have, as an individual, gone and searched out something on YouTube that you need to learn how to do, right? Our washing machine, went out and stopped spinning and stuff. So I looked up, Maytag, whatever number that is, and gave a description of the problem and found a video about how to change, the actuator. And so flipped it over and changed out the actuator, and what do you know? It works. You know what I'm saying? Video is what taught me how to do that. I didn't call a repair guy and pay $100 for him to just show up and bring a bunch of overpriced parts. I ordered the part for $16, flipped it over, and did it myself. Video, right? Mark Zuckerberg, in a BuzzFeed interview, said that he wouldn't be surprised if you fast forwarded 5 years and most of the content that people see on Facebook and are sharing day to day is video. He said he wouldn't be surprised if that happened. And then his head of operations in Europe said, just flat out, that in 5 years, Facebook will definitely be mobile, and it will probably be all video. So if you think about for a sec, how much of the content that you consume on Facebook, just Facebook alone, is visual content? Are you reading posts more regularly from your friends where they're telling you what's going on? Or are you watching a video of them showing you what's going on, or some other kind of funny video or informative video or news video or something like that, right? Even more so now, I think, than imagery. A couple of years ago, it was like pictures, 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 pictures. And now it's like picture, picture, video, 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 picture, picture, video, 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 prayer request, video, video, video. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about Facebook Live for a sec. And we're just going to kind of hit on Facebook Live very quickly. Why Facebook Live? Like, Facebook just said they had like 2 billion people on Facebook. It's obvious everybody is on Facebook. We got 7 billion on the planet. 2 billion of them are using Facebook on a regular basis. So I'd say your audience is there. There's over 8 billion video views per day on Facebook. People spend 3 times longer watching live video compared to standard uploaded or linked video. So they are spending more time watching this, like my live show here, than they are watching a YouTube embed or a meme that someone embeds. You see what I'm saying? The live video. And why live video? Because it's engaging. Because I can look right here at the comments, and Petra said that yes, it's worth it, absolutely. So we're talking about, is it worth it if one life has changed? Is it worth it to live stream? I'm engaging with Petra right here. She says, yes, it's definitely worth it. The number of videos posted per person increased by 75% in 2015. Now, so from 2014 to 2015, 75% jump in the amount of videos that people posted on a regular basis, right? And we just finished 2016. So when those numbers come out, I think they're going to be mind-blowingly high. Video posts have a 135% greater organic reach than photo posts. We share basically more videos than we do share pics or text. And in 2015, Facebook users watched more than 1 million hours of video using like the Samsung Gear VR or the Oculus Rift or one of those VR devices. So that tells us is that we're moving into virtual reality and 360-degree video, and it's going to become a regular part of our video consumption. So that, I mean, just we're not even talking about just regular live streaming. You're going to be eventually doing like 360 live streaming. You're going to have a camera, hanging somewhere in your auditorium or up on the stage with your worship band or something. Eventually, you're going to be incorporating 360 video into your worship service. And we're just talking about turning a camera on right now. So, one of the cool things about Facebook Live is that if you are following somebody, you will get a notification that says, hey, Dave's gone live. I scheduled the live thing this morning. Those of you that are following me got a notification and saw it in my feed or saw it in the Church Training Academy feed, or if you're one of our members, you saw it in the private Facebook group saying, Church Training Academy scheduled a live feed. And they're going to get notified, the people that are following you, whether it's a church member or anybody that's liked your page or that's following you personally, they're going to get a notification saying that it goes live. This one right here is a perfect example. I have a friend that I've talked to her on Facebook a couple of times in the last 15 years, but I haven't seen her in 15 years. And I was doing a test in my studio, and all of a sudden she says, hey, you just popped up on my screen in the right-hand corner. And it was like we hadn't really communicated much in the last 15 years. But because she follows me, when I went live, Dave Curley is on Facebook Live right now. And the interaction. That is one of the biggest parts of Facebook Live is the interaction. And, I talked about we've got the more produced live event kind of live streams, and then we've got like the quick hits. Both of them are more engaging because you are watching it as it happens, okay? The quick hits are even more engaging because they are random, they are raw, they are happening right now. It's the equivalent of digital voyeurism, if you want to say. We've all got this voyeuristic itch that we want to scratch, and if you say you don't, then you're lying because you do. Because I know I do, because when I'm just driving around at night, and sometimes I need to think, and I hop in the car and just kind of go drive around and try to work an idea out or something. If I'm driving through a neighborhood looking at pretty houses or something, and I notice that, there's a glow coming from one of the houses, and they've got their picture window or something, and I look in there and it's like, oh, hey, look, they're watching Daredevil on Netflix, That little, I wonder what's going on inside over there. That little itch to look in their window as you drive by is the same, and I don't mean it in a creepy way, so don't even think I'm like, being creepy and, parked out in front or anything like that. I'm just talking that little what's going on over there. The same thing that the same thing that when you're sitting at dinner and you hear someone at a table over talking about something, you kind of get quiet for a sec because you want to hear what they're talking about. That same little thing is what makes these quick hits, these in the moment live streams, so engaging. You get to participate in something that you're not participating in. So, what can we do with Live as a church or as a ministry? One of the biggest things that Live lets you do is it lets you share the message, share the gospel, share the ministry beyond the walls of your church. So, people who can't be there, like we just saw, we just had a video here of a couple that is homebound for the foreseeable future. They're able to participate in the worship service live as it is happening. Not just Monday when they upload it to the website, but Sunday morning as their normal schedule is. So they can still get up and go sit down in the chair, grab the iPad, and participate in the service with their spouse, in this case, and through that camera, the rest of the audience, the rest of the congregation. It also gives searchers, people that are looking for a new church, a way to test out your church and to determine whether they want to come there or not. And like I said earlier, if you guys don't have a website, you're way behind. Okay, if you do have a website and you are not publishing your content every week on your website, again, you're way behind. People now are going to go to Google, the number one search engine in the world, and or YouTube, the second search engine in the world, and they're going to search for your church. So when you move to a new area, you're going to sit down just like everybody else, and you're going to open up Google, and you're going to say Baptist churches. And because Google is local and it can do local searching and stuff, it's going to come up and go, Tay Springs Baptist Church in Arlington, Texas. And it's going to go First Baptist Church, Arlington. And then it's going to go, hey, First Baptist Dallas or First Baptist Fort Worth or whatever else. And then you'll be able to click on those, and then we'll go to that website, and then we're going to say, what's the mission statement? Who are we? If the church is smart, they have a new here, first-time visitor, that kind of thing, and where they introduce the ministries in the church, and maybe a message from the pastor, and then you're going to be able to watch a service or watch last week's service or whatever like that, so that you can determine, hey, this guy says, what's on my heart and stuff. This speaks to me. I'm going to go check it out. And in an afternoon, that person may go through 5 or 6 different churches and determine that on Sunday they're going to go to your church versus somebody else's church. Doing the quick hits, it helps you build your church's culture. There are a lot of people that are apathetic towards church. They may have been raised in the church. They may even be hostile to the church. Using live video and using these quick hits and these quick videos that you engage with and either put on the church's website or on the church's Facebook page or what have you, can help share the culture and the hearts of the people in your church, whether it's volunteers, like in the media team, or whether it's the pastor, or if our pastor grabs his phone and goes live on Facebook and runs into our youth director's office, what are you working on right now? While he's printing shirts or doing something like that, and they're giggling about something or being silly or laughing or just sharing what's going on or something like that. That is a very informal, unobtrusive, non-threatening way to show people a little bit about your church and about the people involved in your church, and that it's not whatever it is that's keeping them away. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Basically, one of the things that is probably the biggest thing that it does is it helps a person that does not go to your church or is looking for a church or is looking for answers in their life, helps them to know, like, and trust you. Know, like, and trust is really huge. I'm going to be completely transparent with you right here. The whole reason I'm doing this live show is to build a relationship with you, the people that I want to reach with my company, Church Training Academy. But you don't know me. Some of you guys know me. You may know me from Geek Beat TV. You may know me from Geek's Life. You may know me over the past 10 years, the stuff that I've been doing and producing. You may have seen me at a conference. You may have heard me speak at a conference or something. But in the church world, you don't know me. You don't know that I've been doing, church media off and on like my whole life. You don't know that I currently, volunteer in the sound booth at our church and do the live streaming there. You don't know that I've been live streaming for 10 years and I've been doing video production for 20 years. You don't know that. You don't know who I am. I don't have any credibility in your world. So I'm doing this live show to build a relationship with you so that you can learn from the experience that I've had over the past 20 years in podcasting and video production and live streaming and marketing and publishing and all this kind of stuff. So does that make sense? I build a know, like, trust relationship with you. I hope that over time you'll come to see me as a resource. In the same way, people that are hostile to the gospel, or maybe not even hostile to God, but hostile to organized religion, using live video, especially these quick hit things that you can, and those are the things that you can start right now. So you may not have a video camera, you may not have a computer or a production switcher or anything like that you need to get started with live streaming this Sunday. You may be working towards that over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months or whatever. But you can do live streaming now and add that to your ministry, engaging with people throughout your Facebook page right now, and start immediately building a relationship with people beyond the walls of your church in the hopes that you will help to change their lives, whether they come into your church directly, become a member of your church, or whether you're only engaging with them online and you're still able to help change their lives. That's the whole goal. Is it worth it? I think it is. You tell me. Yeah, Petra is sort of dual streaming here. She's watching both through YouTube and through Facebook, and she makes a good point. She's, oops, my screensaver just kicked on. There we are. She says you should make it as easy as possible to connect with your community or future community members. That is exactly right. A couple of weeks back, I was getting things ready at our church for the service. The sound guy, who's a genius on the soundboard, I'm not going to lie, he said, so, what all can you do with this thing? And I started explaining things to him, and I told him, I said, one of the things I want to do, and it's funny, you guys are going to hear me mention this a lot because I love it. I said, well, one of the things I want to do, the next upgrade I want to do, is to get a Boxcaster. And you guys remember last week we talked with Gordon over at Boxcaster, and he said, "What's a Boxcaster?" And I said, "Well, it's a hardware device that basically lets me take the TriCaster and take a program feed out of the TriCaster and plug it into the Boxcaster, and then plug that into the internet, and then it lets me stream not only to the Boxcast service, but then also simulcast to any other service." So what I want to do is I want to have our services streaming like embedded on our church's website, but then also have a Facebook Live feed going, and then also have something on the YouTube Live channel. And he said, well, why do we need to stream to multiple platforms? And I said, to reach more people. And he said, well, why don't they just come to our church's website? Well, how many of them do you think know that our church exists? And he's like, okay. And I said, the people in our church, the people that go here, know that they can go to our church's website and get information, find out, how to register for camp and see last week's service and, subscribe to the podcast, and they can do all that sort of stuff because they're members here, and because, like, before the service on the announcement screens, we have things going up that says, hey, subscribe on iTunes, and, go to the church's website and watch last week's service and register for camp and all that sort of stuff. Because they go here. They're a part of this community. I said, but you got people that don't go here that are on Facebook off and on throughout the day, and that's their social network. They don't use Twitter. They may use Instagram. They don't use YouTube. The only time they ever really use YouTube is if somebody posts something in Facebook. So they're just on Facebook. They communicate with their friends on Facebook, with their old school buddies. Their social media world is in Facebook. So then you got kids, like my kids, they don't have Facebook accounts, but they do have YouTube accounts. And they're on YouTube. And it's funny, when we sit down to watch a show here at our house, any given evening, our girls, they may watch the show with us, but more than likely what they're doing is they're sitting there watching YouTube on their laptop. So YouTube, for a lot of people, is their social media. It's their social network. They are engaging with YouTube creators. They're watching content created by these people. So we want to reach them. YouTube is the second largest search engine. I guess technically whatever the search engine in China is, because they got more people. But for the sake of argument, the two largest search engines on the planet are Google and YouTube. So we want, I would think, we want that when someone sits down in YouTube and says, what does the Bible say about? Or what does God say about? That our church would be one of the ones that is providing that answer. If it's about marriage, what does the Bible say about marriage? Well, if we have a Bible study series that we're doing on marriage, and in the title, it says, what does the Bible say about marriage? Well, someone sits down at YouTube and says, what does the Bible say about marriage? Or they go to Google and say, what does the Bible say about marriage? And Google is able to say, well, there's a YouTube video over here whose title is, what does the Bible say about marriage? So I'm going to show them that. And it's the one that we created. We are now helping to minister to that person, showing them what the Bible says about marriage, and reaching that person. Now, that person got on Google and said, what does the Bible say about marriage? They did not go to tatesprings.com and then hit the little search button and say, what's the Bible say about marriage? They didn't know about us. Now they do. Get the picture? So I will leave you with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are thinking about streaming, if you are wanting to stream, if the idea of streaming has crossed your mind, but you're not sure what to do, you want to go a little bit more in depth, I've got a free guide for you. You can go to churchtrainingacademy.com/streameasy. There's a free guide called Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way, and it's an overview, and it can show you what streaming is, what can be done with it, and some ideas on how you can get started right now, some of the things that we talked about today. So go over there, drop your name, drop your email, and I will shoot you that guide for free, and then maybe we can start a discussion about how to start incorporating live streaming at your church. If you guys, I'm curious, if you guys are needing some one-on-one coaching or wanting to pick my brain a little bit about how to get streaming set up at your church, if that's something that you guys would be interested, I would love if you guys would send me an email, dave@davecurley.com. Let's see here. Here's my name, dave@davecurley.com, or you can email me, dave@churchtrainingacademy.com, and let me know. I'm just curious. That's something that people have approached me, and I've helped them. My question basically is this something that I need to be doing on a regular basis, or something that that you guys would like from me, whether it is like in a group coaching session or whether it is in a one-on-one, me helping you guys at your church get it set up. So just let me know. Anyway, also, like I said, be sure to go to churchtrainingacademy.com/streameasy and get your free guide. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week. The replay of this, the blog post and all that, is going to be coming out on Tuesday. It'll be at churchtrainingacademy.com/002 because this is episode 2. So until then, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic week. Have a great weekend, and God bless.